The timer lies! I totally didn't go over the 5 minutes I set. Anyway, guys, I'm Zyda, and once again for Smite VOD, we're going to be looking at this final ace match out of the Smite Supreme Deities tournament from Brazil. Once again, for anyone just joining us, not aware of what's going on with this particular set of matches, this is from the, here we go, butchering the Portuguese again, Divindades Supremas. And I apologize for anyone I just offended with my attempt at that, but nevertheless, this tournament decided it's sort of the equivalent of the SPL from North America or Europe. Top four, instead of a couple weeks in a round-robin tournament format, it's a single double elimination tournament. Top four teams move on to Sao Paulo Comic-Con land coming up at the beginning of December, where they will be competing for, I believe it is 50,000 Brazilian real, might be 30,000, the numbers escape me at the moment, approximately 15,000 US dollars, 9,000 British pounds, give or take 15,000 euros, depending on the conversion rate at the moment. I didn't actually check that, but nevertheless, the big prize out of that land is going to be the ticket to the World Championship. They're going to, I believe it's an all-expense-paid trip to Atlanta in January, as well as a spot in the Smite World Championship, with the potential prize pool of over $1.3 million, and that number, again, might be completely inaccurate as of this date. I haven't actually looked and checked, so whatever. Nevertheless, big money potentially on the lines. Some people are going to be getting their first looks at some of these teams, seeing what's coming out of Brazil. Some fairly new teams overall. The Brazilian servers, for the most part, only been alive for a couple of, 3-4 months at this point. So some newer teams, maybe like not long, 2-3 months. I forget the exact timeline because, these things I should probably know that I'm going to be rambling on about, but I don't. Nevertheless, taking the first look at some of these teams, we are in an ace match, guys. This is a best of 5. We Love Bacon facing off against Eternal Rallies, currently 2-2. Winner of this game will take first place. 30,000 gem prize pool for this tournament, split between the players. That's not a terribly shabby amount. That's a lot of Odyssey chests, it's a lot of skins, lots of voice packs, lots of all fun stuff like that. Nevertheless, let's pull the bands up onto screen. Finally, they could have been up already, but nevertheless. For We Love Bacon, I totally did not actually switch these teams. So close! The last game, I screwed it up. Here we get to background production things. Eternal Rally versus We Love Bacon. We, try this again, Love Bacon. And we are in finals, 2-2, best of 5. Just production things, guys. Let's go ahead and close that, get this underway. Minions have spawned. Looking at the left side of Spectre UI, wearing those blue trunks, defending the Titan of Order, we have the Eternal Rally. Just Eternal Rally, not the Eternal Rally. Nevertheless, Schultzen in the mid lane this time around as Poseidon, Suzuki as support, Gab this time around, Yurei in the Jungle of Amana. It is a Jungle of Amana. That's a little bit different. Arcanjo as the AD carry, Hunter Apollo, and Stalker in the solo lane as Jean-Qui this time around. For We Love Bacon, wearing those red trunks, defending the Titan of Chaos on the right side of your spectator UI. We do have Pabiar and Athena, Keck on the AD carry Hunter role, Freya, Nan on the jungle Nemesis. Aimless in the mid lane as Agni, and finally Ortroll in the solo lane as Kronos. So some weird and crazy picks finally coming out. We've been seeing actually as they pull me off the screen because no one wants to see my ugly mug for the entire game. And if I don't remember now, I will not remember later. Duo lane, a little bit of the typical aggression. Blue side tends to get there a little bit earlier, pushes the first wave of minions in first, and then it kind of shifts back as the little bit of a level advantage that the red team will typically have off the back of the Harpies on the left side sort of begins to take hold and gain them a little bit of ground in return. That said, Poseidon, not the most common pick in the world. It actually works fairly well against Agni. If you place a Whirlpool behind him and he tries to, say, perhaps Path of Flames out as aggression comes out possibly in the left lane, a 4-man rotation going over there early, looking for first blood. Double Confound connects. They could, nope, not going to find the first blood. Good rotation, though. Good bit of early aggression. These games have been pretty slow so far tonight, so any action coming out early is a good sign of things. Action's better than lulls and little boring periods. But Poseidon versus Agni, a well-placed Whirlpool behind Agni. Whirlpool applies a cripple effect. If Agni has tries to Path of Flames through it, he will stop in his tracks the moment he hits the edge of it, and it's kind of, you turn around trying to get away quick, and you find yourself stuck in place, nowhere near where you want to go. You have to walk around it, and it's a pain, and you probably die horribly. Kronos, also another bit of an odd pick. You don't see a lot of Kronos overall these days. We saw a Jungle Kronos, actually, on Saturday. A bit of a different one. That worked quite well overall. Bit of an unusual pick. I like my Jungle Poseidon, but Jungle Kronos is a thing also apparently down in Brazil. Can't fault it. I liked it. It worked. All said and done, early on, Kronos has a bit of issues with wave clear. He has his time rift, which is a little small AoE, and he has time stop. Time stop is okay overall. but it doesn't do quite as much damage. So you have the issues, well, do I clear part of the wave? If Zhang-Kui just does this, he rotates over the side of the wave a little bit, hits everyone with the Expose Evil, exercises them, he heals them, he heals himself rather, does a bunch of damage, and overall has pretty decent wave clear until later on. This wave of minions, actually, does he have? Not quite yet. A couple tower shots onto these minions, potentially, if Orchel actually doing a decent amount of damage, will lose 1 minion worth of gold. Not terrible early on, but over time it can add up to a bit of a disadvantage. Taking a look at the early starting builds coming out. Looks like Vamana has gone back to base, has picked up the combat boots. Schultzen going to use that Whirlpool Delaney chase on him. Stun combo coming from Agni. Level 5 timing pushes, guys. You want to take advantage of those. You get your ultimate online. Look for first blood. Look for a kill. Look for some extra aggression while your opponent might not have it. Right there was a level 5 versus level 5, so really not a huge timing push advantage. But nevertheless, looking for a kill. Good attempt. Weren't quite able to find it. Nice, actually a lot of rotations coming out from these teams. I'm a little bit surprised about this. There's a lot of 4-man rotations coming out, which is actually pretty good overall. You want to try and fight when possible, like right now we see Vamana and Stalker and Yurei heading over the side, looking for some aggression. Does find a stun off of the Exorcism, but it looks like even with the Colossal Fury, not going to be looking to dive too early this on. Trouble with words, I apologize. It's getting late, it's been a long night already for me. This early in the game, diving towers is pretty rough. Yeah, the towers aren't necessarily the most deadly things in the world, but when there's a couple guys there with a lot of stuns, crowd control, all those fun things, you might find a kill, but they very well could answer a kill right back, at which point he has a little risky, do you really want to do it? In this case, apparently not. A little bit later on, once some people pick up a couple of bits of armor, the Geb, the Athena have, say, a Sovereignty, even a Steel Mail online, the opportunity to dive safely is a lot stronger than it was otherwise. So all that said and done, we do see some people heading back to base. Once again, I think, yeah, Geb's back, Athena, Agni were back as well. A little bit on the early side, all said and done. Agni only picked up the magical boots. So, is it magic boots? Magic shoes. Close enough. Apparently, mages don't like boots. Anyway, not going into the story time of this, not important enough. So Yuri actually in the left lane. I'm curious about the jungle of Vamana. It's not a common pick we see a whole lot of. It's a little too early to tell how well it'll actually work out. He has pretty decent clear all said and done. The Armored Umbrella hits reasonably hard. I believe that's what he's going to be. Yeah, he's skilling up the Armored Umbrella. Going to use that to clear out the jungle minions, get a little extra damage out. He has cleared the path for a knock-up and a little bit of extra speed, as well as the Armored Umbrella. The Umbrella Ring for a bit of a slow application, as well as range damage, potentially. It's no Thor, don't get me wrong. I'm actually a little surprised we don't have a Thor in this game, given that he wasn't banned. I don't know if we ever touched on the bans, but they've been up in the top left and top right of the screen. Sylvanas and Rom banned out for We Love Bacon. Nuwa, no surprise. Serket, no surprise again. Vulcan, I'd say no surprise, but people tend to not ban him out, which is surprising, given as effective as he tends to be. Nevertheless, it's been a long one, guys. So hopefully this is a little bit quicker of a game. I don't know. Hopefully it's not an epic long 50-minute game, or if it is a 50-minute game, it's an exciting one. Anyway, before I get too much into story time, we're coming up on the second timing push. A couple guys level 8, they're going to hit level 9 soon. I'm going to just take a quick look down some of these guys. Is anyone holding their points? It looks like that is 8 for Poseidon. So a quick glance down, doesn't look like anyone's holding their points. I'm not going to have any second points in ultimates in level 5, rank 5 in their main skills. Of course, this guy's coming down from Apollo here, going to look for Freya, immediately going up into the Valkyrie's Discretion. Going to avoid any follow-up damage out of that one. There's some good grouping coming around these maps. I was talking about a little bit on these rotations, but it looks like overall they're a little hesitant to go in and engage each other. Just going for the slow route. This is a pretty good, It's still a competitive game. I'm assuming these teams aren't really pulling anything like super deep trips. You want to save those for the big games coming up at the beginning of December. But these are still pretty important tournaments. You want to play well, you want to get the practice, get the experience in. It's playing in a tournament. I believe this was not a LAN setting, so all said and done, I imagine for some of these players, the LAN coming up at the beginning of December is going to be their first real LAN setting. It's something that's talked about a lot during the regionals and all that stuff. A lot of players aren't used to playing outside their bedrooms, basements, wherever they happen to play from. So going to a LAN setup, they're in front of people and an audience, The pressure's on. It's a big game. I mean, these are, again, as was touched on this weekend, these aren't just, oh, you know, we're playing for a little bit of money. These are potentially, like, big career games and decisions. A lot of these players are going to be pretty young. Some of them are, like, teenagers still. I mean, not even out of high school in some cases. Or the Portuguese, Brazilian equivalent of whatever high school ends up being called. Secondary schools, you know, they're students for the most part. These are guys who really haven't had a lot. They're looking to possibly win a bunch of money. They're on the path to do so. Divine Judgment coming in this left lane. Arcandra going to take a slice and dice. Otherwise, going to be able to get out of that one safely. It looks like Schultz and rotating around. Not going to find a combo on the back of them. Will dodge the banish, but has to be careful. Athena has come around, finds the taunt. Beads will be forced out. Schultz going to be running away from that one. They could... No gold fear. No gold fear. Makes sense. Everyone was kind of up. Everyone was more or less full health. Apollo had Across the Skies available. Could have gotten into Reinforce quite quickly. So yeah, it's a little bit of a... Right lane? No. Solo land islanding. The icons converge and looked like they were going something, but no. Or rather, We Love Bacon. Apollo's making it... Apollo, for the love of God, names today. Gonna stop for a second. We Love Bacon. Going for the gold fear. He does find Arcandra, looking for the steal, looking for a kill perhaps. Not able to find one. That'll be the first gold fear of the game. Before first blood even coming out. We're 8 minutes 45 seconds into this one. So yeah. Worlds potentially a huge amount. Just even getting to 4th place. You're talking already $300,000. I'm not sure if any of these teams are sponsored at the end of the day. These guys might just be their own little teams. If We Love Bacon is in fact an organization, I think I love their organization all said and done, but it's an organization I have never heard of before. Same thing with the Eternal Rally. I think these are just their own little teams. They might get picked up ahead of Worlds at some point, but $300,000 split between 5 players. That's $60,000 is a lot of money for, again, what could in some cases be teenagers. Apollo caught out in the left lane, trying to get away with his life. The move's not going to be enough. Keck going to take first blood of the game. 9 minutes, 28 seconds in. That's the slowest first blood of the game so far. We'll see if they look to keep this advantage rolling. Currently, 1,500 golden lead, 1,500 experience as well. And as Nan or Nan or however his name is actually pronounced, because I know I've probably been butchering it this entire game. I'm going to stick with Nan for now, but just mentioned Brazil, South America, and I believe, you know, China is kind of its own little boat as far as patches go. Brazil has been playing a patch behind. They got Nox this previous Wednesday. We've had Nox in North America and Europe going back a couple weeks, so they're a little behind in practice. And then you have the likes of China, who they have the remade Ao Kuang already, and then they don't have, like, I think it's they don't have Circuit. There's like 1 or 2, they're like behind a couple patches, but they have a god we don't even have yet. It's weird. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to elaborate on because I don't know the exact details. I know China is like on a completely different patch from the rest of the world, which, again, given that China's a newer region as well, it's going to be interesting going into Worlds. It was mentioned over the weekend, you know, during the regionals, that some of the teams winning 1st and 2nd place in Europe Europe and North America could almost be guaranteed 4th place or better, because some of these teams coming out of Brazil, South America, and China are relatively inexperienced in comparison. So it's going to be curious how they look to play these games out, how they look to play once they're going towards Worlds. There's still about a month and a half until that's coming up, so they have time to practice, they have time to refine all their strategies and all that. Curious to see how that all plays out in the end of the day. In worst case, they get a free trip to Atlanta. Hopefully they enjoy all that. But story time and talking about the Worlds and the tournaments and all that stuff aside, let's focus back to this game a little bit. Take a look what these players are building up item-wise. How the Golden Experience... We just did Golden Experience. Not going to do that again. I remember it. Yay. Looks like Chrono's electing to build a Warlock Sash. That works pretty well. He wants to be tanky. He's going up against that Jean Kui as well. It's going to be tanky. It comes back to what I touched on a little bit last time with Habwa. Sometimes you want to build bursty, do a lot of damage, but if you can stay alive, there's that pesky death debuff that when it gets on you, you just do 0 damage, and you don't absorb damage either from abilities, and it sucks. It's annoying. It's aggravating, all that fun stuff. Non-rotating for the gank on the Stalker. Not going to find its stun, going to kind of deter that, but there is a rotation. Schultz in, actually a 4-man rotation right now from Eternal Rally. They could be... No, we're not going to team fight UI yet. Get some of the other builds. Agony once again going for the Talon Trinket, looking to build that into a Bancross eventually. Hasten Fatalis completed on Freya. Could look to be aggressive onto Apollo, except Apollo's a little bit of an interesting beast with his Audacity passive. But when that kicks in, he's attacking quite a bit faster. Because, you know, apparently after attacking 10 times with one hand, it's like, oh, hey, I have a second hand, let me use that. This doesn't feel right, and he goes back to one hand. Then decides to try it again 10 attacks later. It's weird, confusing, and he does it that way, but when you're on the receiving end of it, it's quite annoying, it's quite painful. Apollo was actually slightly nerfed a couple patches back in the matchup against mages. His Serenade had the magical protection buff removed from it, so he's a little bit better off these days against mages, or excuse me, a little worse off against mages. Freya would be a little better off, but it's still a little bit of a tricky situation. He has a gap closer, he can look to reposition with Serenade, and he has Across the Skies to chase down a kill if you think you got away, and suddenly he's up at his ultimate and he drops down on your head. Schultzen getting caught out in the mid lane potentially. Will he pop the crack? And no, non-time Whirlpool does come down, but Non going to just go ahead and rotate out around the back. Whew. So it looks like We Love Bacon picking up the second kill of the game. We are currently sitting at about a kill every 7 minutes and 45 seconds. That's a slow one, guys. Hopefully it's a good one. As this game continues to progress, Banish connects onto Apollo. He's going to get caught out here. Body blocking is coming in. 3-man Serenade. They could look for this Valkyrie Destruction coming up. It is nerfed now, however, the range... Actually, was it nerfed on this patch? It was a Nox patch. It was nerfed. Suzuki was rotating around to try and help, but this could have... words backfired on him here. All said and done, though, he will make it back to the tower. We Love Bacon could possibly look to go pick up this Gold Fury. As Yura is going to look to zone out Non here, and Hand of the Gods is online. Geb was nearby. They're going to go ahead and let that reset. Banish connects onto Yuri right now in the back. Big Baby come out. That was a very large stone shield there for a moment. But it's just going to be a full disengage from both sides as Yuri looks to go start up the Gold Fury. Eternal Rally now taking their hit. Or not. Yuri just hitting it with a bat and then running off. It's these gangster kids from the hood, the animal abuse. The Gold Fury just wants to sit there and guard its gold, and this little baby comes up with a bat and smacks it and breaks his wing, and yeah. Crazy stuff. Mean little baby. Just back to the item overlay. So far, Jungle of Amana really hasn't come into play any significant amount. We've kind of moved past the early laning, ganking phase. Teams this time around, no towers are falled, but there's a lot of rotations coming out from both sides. A decent amount of contesting over the Gold Fury. There's really not a lot of committing to getting kills so far. There's been a couple back and forths overall. So, there's been more aggression overall, just less kills. We're now currently sitting at, my math is horrible evidently, and we're now sitting at about 7 minutes 30 seconds between kills. It's like 13, I don't know, whatever. There's a minute before the game, and it's, I don't know, whatever. Math is hard, it sucks. It's light, I'm tired. Need a glass of water. Hold on. Drinking water. It's one of the hard things as a caster, especially solo casting. Solo casting is kind of rough to begin with. You have to kind of fill a lot of air. You want to try to keep what you're talking about sort of relevant to the game. Problem is, after doing now, I believe, 6 or 7 games, 6 games, because, okay, we didn't see the first game of the lower bracket finals because the replay was bugged out. I remember what's going on now. Occasionally, I recall things from my memory. More often than not, I do not. But overall, I've been talking more or less constantly for about 4 hours straight. That's a lot of talking. Throat's getting a little tired, I'm getting tired, running out of things to say, because I feel like I've covered most things already at this point. It is a little bit slower paced game, so that kind of sucks. Divine Judgment coming on to Stalker. Hopefully these kill fights keep up. Time Stop will connect Time Rift as well, but Rainfire from Aimless going to pick up that kill. We Love Bacon on a roll, 4-0 right now. Looks like the... Well, has every single game? I believe one of the games was a tournament. Every other game, the team that took off to the early lead ended up winning in the end. We Love Bacon looking to get their second Gold Fury this game. Eternal Rally has sniffed that one out. They're heading over there. Gold Fury is down to 50%, 45%. Cataclysm's going to come out. Not quite at the threshold yet. They got to be careful. Kraken's going to come out. Gold Fury 30%, 25%. Who will get it? We Love Bacon going to secure that one. Pybear has to be careful. Arcandro and gets the first and second kill right there of the game for Eternal Rally. Pybear now looking to juke around his tower. The very angry baby this time around gonna find that kill. Overall, 3 kills to nothing going the way of Eternal Rally. But with that Gold Fury, the gold still shifted overall into their favor. Experience, though, they gotta watch out for that, pulling a little bit back towards Eternal Rally as they now look to secure this left side outer tower. In what could be the second one of the game, because of course, at some point the right lane tower for Eternal Rally fell. It's one of these things that kind of happens. You're talking about stuff and you miss it completely. Kronos rotating over, looking for a kill into Schultzen. Schultzen's low on mana. Going to use a Tidal Surge, knock him back. Time Stop will connect. Time Rift not going to quite connect. Did Time Stop connect? No, Beads wasn't used. I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Because Time Stop did, in fact, miss. There might have been some slow immunity coming into play there. With Kronos, for anyone who does not know, someone who is slow immune will not actually get the stun effect on the back of it, so it's a little frustrating sometimes against various gods who have slow immunity effects built into their kits in some way or another, or someone has sprint or something to that effect, so it's a little frustrating sometimes. I know Poseidon has his, gonna cheat once again, Trident? Trident. That increases his movement speed. Does he get immune to slows? Doesn't say outright, but there might be some weird interaction there I'm not aware of. I don't know. Nevertheless, Time Stop either missed or there's some weird interaction I'm not aware of. Taking a look at these items now, as looks like both solo laners have gotten up to full stacks on their respective Warlock sashes. Actually, Zhang Kui sitting one short. Terrible. Disappointing. Deal with it. Left lane, possible aggression coming out to Keck. Will they find it? Clear the path. Not going to find the knock-up. Serenade, though, will stop him in his tracks. Valkyrie's discretion is available. It's going to get popped right now. Athena's on her way here, potentially. Defend Olympus, though, going over to the right lane. Aggression coming out all over the place right now. Looking for the kill onto Keck. Will they find it? One more hit. Banish going to be used successfully. Pybear on the right lane does pick up the kill on the Stalkers. Rotation coming around. Keck not able to stay alive, but Aimless finds the double in that left lane. Fighting still going on the right side. Jungle looking for the kill right now onto Suzuki. Will they find it? That will be the question. Non getting some damage off that Retribution Shield. Reflect. Pybear looking for aggression. Does find the taunt. Non going to be picking that one up as he now looks to retreat. Whirlpool is down. Tidal Surge connects. One more auto attack could potentially pick it up, but he will not get a Time Stop. This time does connect on the Schultz. Time Rift not enough, however, to find the kill. He will be getting out of that one safely. Overall, though, Eternal Rally finding 4 for 1 across the map. So We Love Bacon definitely taking the reins in this one so far. Currently 4,600 go. Non-looping around the back of the map, finding the D side that I have missed. That's third kill of the game missed. I think I am still doing better than the EU regional cameraman. Heyo, more shots fired. Deal with it. Paulo, though, looking for blood. Where is he going to go? Will he find some Pybear? Gonna be taking that one to face. Does find the knockup. So Beautiful does connect. It's a 2v1 right now. Do they have enough to stay alive? Now I'm going to pop the Aegis as reinforcements do close in. Will the Time Stop hit in time? No, it will not. Time Stop actually will miss. Kronos trying to find this kill quickly as now Stalker rotates around as well. Ritual has to be careful. Reinforcements arriving from all over the place right now. He's low. One more hit. Will they find it? No! Nice double Time Stop does find it. In the back, though, Keck rotating around does find the kill onto Arcanjo as Aimless secures the escape for Artrol. Overall, 1 for 1 in that counter engagement by Apollo. But Eternal Rally did find the steal onto the attack speed buff. Yuri is going to be happy about that one. Not quite so much. Whew. It's, I'm loving the fact that action's finally coming out. We were about 15 minutes in the game and we had like 2 kills total. 5 minutes later, we're sitting 15 kills on the board total. Total. Lots of totals. We Love Bacon up 5 kills now over Eternal Rally. Gold still in their favor. Experience taking a little bit of a dip, going back the way of Eternal Rally for the moment. The question will be, will We Love Bacon keep up their current early game, mid-game at this point, lead, or will Eternal Rally be able to pull it back again? For anyone just joining us, this is the ace match in this best of 5 series from the Brazilian Supreme Deities tournament. There are 30,000 gems on the line for first place, as well as, well, both teams have secured a seat to the Smite Arena of the Gods, that's the translated title, LAN at the Sao Paulo, Brazil, Comic-Con in the beginning of December. Right lane, Stalker and Artrol going at it. Stalker at this point in the game with the auto attack damage from Kronos coming online. He doesn't quite have an offensive item yet. I'm curious if he's going to look for a Demonic Grasp anytime soon. That'll not only strip some magical protections off, as all gods at this point in time do have a decent bit of scaling just from leveling up. I'm going to say Apollo would be the weakest, currently sitting 45, 118 Vimana, 62 on Geb, 50 Poseidon, 115 on Stalker. Stalker's Zhang Kui, I should say. So Demonic Grasp would work quite a bit. He does have the Void Stun. That's a 55 magical protection debuff, so that will be doing a lot as well. Like Preemptive Strike does come out. The Quacken, I should say, comes out. Valkyrie's Discretion forced up by Keck. Keck does find the kill. Nana is in trouble. Arcanjo picks that one up. Recall Demon's out from Stalker right now. He's in the back line looking to do damage in the middle of these three members, but he will be brought down. Keck gonna find the double right there as he now looks for more in the back. Arkanjo going to clear the path, does find Pybear. Keck and Aimless in the back running. Armed Umbrella not quite enough, but Arkanjo rotating around will find the kill on the Keck. Right now, 2 for 3 going the way of We Love Bacon overall. Suzuki is low. We could have a slap fight here between the supports. Arkanjo is there to help as Urtrol rotates around as well. Aimless on the side has to be careful, using that rain fire defensively, looking for the sun combo if he needed it. Beads is forced by Arkanjo. Taunt, though, was not used right there. Urtrol going to find the 4th kill. Geb, the only one still alive for Eternal Rally. We Love Bacon could look for a Gold Fury right now. Urtrol's going to have a decent amount of damage overall. He's Chronos, he's got a decent amount of items, and they will be going for it. Geb a little far away. Don't think he's going to be getting there in time, even if he wants to. Decent amount of damage coming out of We Love Bacon. They're going to be able to secure. I'm not entirely comfortable saying they can secure this one just yet. Well, I'm going to say yes, they can. Geb's not going to get there in time. 38%, 32%. He is here. He could look for a Shockwave, Cataclysm, potentially Gold Fury below the threshold. A little bit too late for Geb. I don't know if he saved. Did he save the rollout? He had rollout off cooldown. He might not have wanted to use it. I'm not entirely sure. I should have looked at that beforehand. But nevertheless, 3rd Gold Fury of the game going the way of We Love Bacon. 23 minutes with 30 seconds in. Actually, not looking for aggression on the Schultz and almost finding a kill. Good Stone Shield from Suzuki helping him out as well as that Shockwave. We do have a pause coming out right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look for a good opportunity to go look over these items. Taking a quick look at the gold and experience graph once again. Gold currently 7,700 in favor of We Love Bacon, 12,600 experience. So both shifting a little bit more in the favor of We Love Bacon. Item-wise, starting to look at these 4th items are for the most part either underway or completed on the side of We Love Bacon. More on the left-hand side, we have 1 or 2 started or completed, but most people still on 3 items. Actually, it's Vimana sitting on a lot of golden hand. Not particularly, so a little bit behind as far as that goes. Otherwise, looking at some of the other items coming out, I just want to kick this up. Now we're not going to we'll go look at somebody, but kick up to double time because these pauses sometimes go on a little long. You already did disconnect. Perhaps it's the servers, perhaps people's internet connections, perhaps just, you know, Smite likes to be like this a lot of the time. We have no matches, or no picks and bans for any of these matches or anything like that, so there's some, at least, just client-y things going on down there, if nothing else. Other than that, Vimana and Nemesis both electing for the kin size. I did see him just reconnect. We'll go back to 1-time speed for the time being. I imagine the pause will be coming off here shortly. Other than that, Apollo and where is he? Apollo and Freya both going for normal builds, yeah. Apollo going for the very typical Devourer's Gauntlets into the Warrior Tabai to Executioners to the Short Sword. Going to be picking up Rage more likely than not. The exception of Artemis from a numbers perspective. Artemis, her passive, every hit she gets an increased 5% critical chance. Up to, I believe, 15% overall. So for her, the Deathbringer actually works out pretty well just because she normally gets an increased critical strike chance. For everybody else, the Rage overall ends up being more of an increase because every time you don't crit, your crit chance increases until you do crit, and then it resets, and then so it just repeats itself like that. So overall, you end up doing more damage going Rage. For Deathbringer, unless you're Artemis, and possibly there might be 1 or 2 other fringe cases on her, would probably be the one that stands out. Just because he has a armor shredding passive, and the numbers might get a little weird with that, but I don't know if the numbers work out to. Other than that, Height of the Ocean online for Vimana, currently sitting on 6 stacks. It looks like Nemesis is going to be building into a Void Shield? No, Shift to Shield, excuse me, that's a Tower Shield. Things I should know, but don't buy the icons. Go me. Otherwise, Demonic Grip. Grasp. Cheating again. Grip is online for Freya. That's going to help shred out some energy. Well, the Spear of the Magus when her Pulse is activated. And I believe Irradiate will proc that as well. We Love Bacon, though, starting off Fire Giant. Apollo's across the map. He's got to be ready to move over here. Fire Giant's already almost down to half health. They have a lot of damage. 50% or so right now. Suzuki going too far forward too soon. He's going to get burst down. Wrath of the Gods off the table. Fight is coming out. Apollo coming across the skies. Not yet, actually. We Love Bacon's tower's under attack, but Ure finds a kill onto Aimless right now. Second, there's a double. As Schultzen now getting burst down. Or killed off, rather. Friend of Olympus down to middles. They're looking to pick up Ure. Will they be able to? Swift Judgment used on Nemesis, looking to sort of vengeance. Whatever her one is, the double dashy ability. Overall, a 2 for 4 going the way of We Love Bacon. Fire Giant is still on the table, but Apollo is currently turning his attention to that left lane Phoenix. If Nemesis can't stop this, will have entirely been worth it if they don't get that Fire Giant as well. It looks like one more hit. The left lane Phoenix for Eternal, We Love Bacon has been taken down, almost finding a kill onto Nan as well. Fire Giant's still on the table. Apollo going across the skies could look for blood right now. If nothing else, may force the reset here. Gonna come down onto Oracle. He's gonna look for a taunt, likely to come in. There is from Athena. He's going to force the reset. Apollo getting a Phoenix at the end of the day and stopping that Fire Giant and getting a kill into Oracle at the end of the day. Now Eternal Rally going for the Fire Giant, ladies and gentlemen. Or perhaps choosing wiser not to do that. Apollo pretty low on health at the end of the day. And a couple members of We Love Bacon having respawned as well. Would have been a little bit of a scary rush attempt at the end of the day. But nevertheless, Apollo, going back 30-40 seconds, I would have criticized the fact that he stuck around in that left lane. Didn't cross the skies when that team fight broke out. He kept up the split pushing. They lost 4 members, but they got a Phoenix. And then he stopped the Fire Giant. Just stopping the Fire Giant would have been used, but he got a Phoenix as well, and it's a left lane Phoenix. That means fire minions on the opposite side of the map for the next 4 minutes, 3 minutes. The next couple minutes, there are going to be fire minions pouring down that lane, pushing that lane quick and hard. If We Love Bacon is not careful, and a wave or two of fire minions slips through that Titan will take a lot of damage. You do not want that to happen. That said, there are still 4 towers and 2 Phoenixes on the map, so there's a decent amount of protection on a Titan still, so it's not perhaps the most concerning thing early, but something they have to keep in mind at all times now. That also said, that Phoenix will now be permanently weakened. It will be much easier to take down in the future, so a huge, huge pick overall by Arcangelo. I'm going to call him by his name, not just Apollo this time around. So that said, take a deep breath, take a sip of water. It's been a long night. Gem of Isolation out on Poseidon as well. His Whirlpool is going to be a pain to get out if anyone gets caught on that. Never mind the fact that there's a cripple effect on it as well. It's going to slow you additionally. That's going to be frustrating. Arcangelo boxing it out with Kronos in the right lane right now. Fury looking for the Umbrella Ring to apply the slow. Armored Umbrella comes out as well as the Colossal Fury. He's going to look for this pick right here, but Athena rotating around is going to force him back. The big baby is going to be on cooldown for a little while here now. I don't know why we're going to team fight UI at the moment. So on the back of that fight, taking a look at the graph, Eternal Rally actually swinging gold back down from around 7,000 against them to around 5,000. 11,000 experience. We're mostly at level 20 right now. The experience difference, a lot of fake experience on that graph. Stalker though cut out. Taunt will connect from almost around the corner. Beads will be used immediately. Stalker's looking to get away from this one. Geb rotating in from the backside. Whirlpool not going to be used to quite a good effect. Across the skies coming in from Apollo, looking for the damage onto 9. He's got to be careful in the middle. It's 2v1 as the rest of We Love Bacon's rotating in for this one. Looks like right now, We Love Bacon on the back foot. Arcangelo going to find a kill into Oratrolls. The Kraken comes out, finding the kill into Pybear as well. Looks like Eternal Rally turning this one around, guys. We have the first game of the series. Not entirely going the way of the team that found the early game lead. It looks like they're going to be now looking for some damage onto this mid lane tower. Fire minions, the wave has been pushed back out to neutral, but that's going to be quickly changing as a double wave of fire minions now approaching that one lone wave for We Love Bacon. On the back of those 2 kills, Athena is dead. The Wrath of the Gods is currently off the table. They're going to go ahead and look for this Fire Giant. We do have Freya and Nemesis rotating over. Keck finds a pick onto Ori. He is one of the tankier ones, though. They got to be careful about going too aggressive on this. They're keeping that Fire Giant alive, looking to zone out quite well. Fire Giant will go to Eternal Rally. Keck looks for the banish onto... Ooh, Shelton gets hit by the Divine Judgment. They might look for a kill here. Tidal Surge not going to hit for a delay. Slice and Dice does, however. The Valkyrie's Discretion up for 1. They could find a second here, potentially. There's the Slice and Dice. No, not Slice and Dice. Swift Judgment Vengeance. Some double dashy ability on Nemesis that I could just cheat and look at the name of. Where is Nemesis on this UI? Because I'm tired of not knowing the name of it. I'm pretty sure it's Vengeance. It is Vengeance. Alright. I will promptly forget that in 30 seconds again because I am awesome like that. Whew. So crazy back and forth game so far. On the back of that great play by Apollo, managed to pick up the left Phoenix. save the Fire Giant. Eternal Rally now has the Fire Giant in their hands on 2 members, but We Love Bacon looking to answer with a Gold Fury right now. It's going, I mean, not undetected, but Geb's on his way over there to drop down a ward. He'll spot this one out. Could look to contest. Actually, will force the reset just by walking over that way. They're not looking potentially to have that one stolen out right now. They're also not entirely sure where the other members of We Love Bacon names. Where Eternal Rally was at that point in time. There's a lot of ward coverage on the left side of the map. Not for Eternal Rally, only 1 ward down right now, but We Love Bacon has a lot of vision on the left side of the map. Right side where Yurei as well as Stalker were, they were not sure where they were, so they were right behind Geb. That could have ended poorly for them. As I fight the minimap to get everything online and visible again, there we go. Taking one more quick look down at the items right now. It's a lot of magical protection coming out, which isn't terribly surprising. Freya is pretty powerful overall, Agni and Kronos as well. Yes, Nemesis does a lot of damage potentially, but if you pigeonhole yourself too much into one-sided damage, which in this case is magical, between Kronos, between the Freya, between the Agni, that's a lot of magical damage coming out. It's like we see the likes of a Bulwark of Hope on 4 members of Eternal Rally right now. That's a lot of health. That is a lot of magical protection. That's a good shield as well once they drop low enough in health. It's not going to achieve that really kind of moment. Fight though, possibly breaking out. Eternal Rally looking to dive under this tower. Colossal Fury coming out right now from Vamana in the backline once again. Yurei loves these 1v3, 4, or 5 men situations. Rewind going to not channel in time. Troll diving deep, finding a kill more or less on his own, and now as the rest of Eternal Rally look for this right lane tower. We Love Bacon has to be careful going forward. They need to be grouping up a little bit better. They can't be getting caught out like we just saw right there where Yurei found that kill onto Troll. The other problem is, like I said, the protections coming out on the side of Eternal Rally. There's a lot of penetration items coming out for We Love Bacon. They're aware of the fact that they can build protections and deal with that. Now I'm going for the Divine Judgment onto Stalker. Slice and Dice connects as well. Beads will be used to get out of that one immediately. Now Quasar does use the Aegis in the middle of this. Does get caught up near Recall Demons coming out from Stalker. They're looking to possibly end this right now. Fight relatively even for the moment. The Fire Giant belt only on 2 members of Eternal Rally, not providing a huge bit of advantage, but Yurei finds the kill to Nan. Keck answers the kill to Archangelus. It's a lot of damage down for Eternal Rally right now. Quacken comes out, finds all 4 damage. Or it's not finds all 4. I actually went up missed damage-wise. Aimless coming in for the cleanup. Schultz in, getting Aimless in the end. It's currently a 2v1. Probably the only one left under the tower to defend, but Vamana tanking up the turret. Poseidon going to look for damage, but nevertheless, respawns are coming out. Kronos is back up. Can't stick around with that on the table. That's going to force the retreat by Eternal Rally. All said and done, We Love Bacon did lose a tower on the back of that. But Fire Giant buff's about to drop off, about to respawn in a moment. They could look to kind of regroup, reset their, just kind of reset a little bit. Go to fight that one again. And we'll see what ends up happening in the end as this game does continue. But as I was touching on, there's a lot of penetration items coming out on the side of We Love Bacon. They're aware of the fact that Eternal Rally can just build a bunch of magical protection, counter a good large chunk of their damage. So they built a lot of this. Double Void Stones coming out. There's a Spear of the Magus on Freya. There is a Spear of the Magus on Agni as well. So they're aware of it. They're building to counter it. The question is, will it be enough? Looking at these damage numbers, We Love Bacon has the top of the damage chart for the most part, except for poor Athena. It's a very shocking day when Athena is not the bottom of the damage chart. Even like Jungle Athena, who has the luxury of buying an offensive item or 2, still tends to be down towards the bottom. She's just not a high damage god. She's a semi-global, supporty kind of god. Lots of crowd control, lots of disruption. Shield Wall does okay, but it's no Shockwave or Cataclysm as far as damage is concerned. Yeah, Defender of Olympus, you get a pair of stilettos to the face, but yeah. I don't know, still gotta give that one a little bit to Shockwave. The global presence on Defender of Olympus is nice though, so I don't know, it goes either way. That said, despite all those protections, the 3 magical damage dealers on the side of We Love Bacon are at the top of the damage chart. They just need to be careful with these team fights, group up a little bit better, group up and get these team fights underway a little better. They have to be careful with splitting up. Like right now, Kronos is heading across the map, possibly, not sure where he's going right now. Might have been looking to deal with Kronos, which looks like that is what he is going to be doing right now. You don't want him taking that Phoenix down again, but he's going to have a long walk back across the map. Suzuki cut out, will pop the Cataclysm, only going to find Nan, and they could look to follow up on the back. This Vamana is in the back once again in that 1v everybody position he loves so much. Nan finding a quick kill to Suzuki. That is going to be Wrath of the Gods off the table. Nan will managed to slip away from that one. Whirlpool does come out, clear the path being used as well. Armored Umbrella, gonna find the hit. Umbrella ring, not quite enough as, yeah, words. P-Red does, people come over. Nan was able to get safe with that counter, though rotating over, did find the kill on to Aimless in the back of that fight. Overall 1 for 1, but Wrath of the Gods is off the table right now for Eternal Rally. If We Love Bacon could find 1 more or 2 more kills, they could look at a quick pickup on that Fire Giant, but you have to be careful where they're going. Keck is hiding around the corner looking for killing someone. Does he have enough damage? Yurei is there as well. He might have bitten off more than he could chew right there. He's getting burst down quick. That's going to be a kill going the way of Stalker. Little traps like that work well if you can find the kill right now. Recall Demons coming out. They're looking for the kill into Artroll as well. Rewind is available. Looked up aside and run guy. He's going to rewind back. Look to run away the other direction. Clear the path is going to get used. Armored Umbrella, or excuse me, Umbrella Ring for the slow if he can connect it, but right now it looks like that will be a Fire Giant getting started up by Eternal Rally. Wrath of the Gods is online. Wisely so, Eternal Rally looks to back off of that Fire Giant attempt. To try a Fire Giant without a Wrath of the Gods nearby when the enemy does is just outright foolish. You need to make sure you burst him down or reset the Fire Giant, otherwise you essentially give the enemy team a free Fire Giant, which is, would generally be considered a bad thing. We have more or less, though, reached late game, ladies and gentlemen. 6 items coming out on a number of players on the side of Eternal Rally. Apollo and Vimana both reaching that as we can move away from this rather arbitrary spot in the jungle. 6 items also about to be completed, though, on Freya and Kronos, so they're not terribly far behind. We'll see how things go overall. Right now, a couple of these team fights going pretty close. Looking at the gold and XP graph, though, gold has swung back in favor of Eternal Rally, so We Love Bacon has to be very careful about that. They don't have the upper hand anymore. This game actually going quite a bit differently than every game we've seen so far. First Fire Giant was kind of a little bit of a last-minute thing. They only had the belt itself on 2 people. At the end of killing the fluff. Why do you always kill the fluffy Manticore, guys? Come on. The fluff. Who doesn't love the fluffy Manticore? Fluffy. Little dentin balloons. They fizzle out when they die. Wards. Lots of wards. Anyway. There's another fluffy Manticore. Man, there's another. No, okay, there was no sentry ward. That fluffy Manticore will live. Yay! The fluffy Manticores. More wards, Gab. Come on, more fluffy Manticores. He still has 1 in his inventory. Where's it gonna go? Who knows? Anyway, let's talk about fluffy Manticores. More talk about the game itself. Divine Judgment does come down on the Schultzen. A little bit preemptive there, perhaps, as no real engagement opportunity. That's an ultimate down off the table for right now. Gotta be careful, those every little bit helps in a team fight. You're once again in the middle of a bunch of people looking for damage. He's Vimana, he has that Colossal Fury online. No anti-healing, really, except for the Divine Rune on Kronos. Is a little bit there this time around. But nevertheless, with almost 3,000 health, Vimana's going to be healing about 150 health per second up in that Colossal Fury as he looks to the rest of right now. It's Nan once again in the middle of 4. This time around, though, getting brought low, will be forced to retreat before finding a kill. So overall, good attempt, not able to find blood. Apollo's going for the Fire Giant on his own. Okay, rotating a little too far. Rest of the team, though, kind of breaking out in the middle for a team fight. Aggressive taunt coming out from hi-rez. He looks to finish, or catch out. Schultzen Beads was used to get him out of that one safely. So kind of a little bit of scattered stuff over there, perhaps a little bit of miscommunication. Apollo over-rotating to the Fire Giant. There wasn't a Fire Giant actually getting started up. There might... No, I'm not going to say there's perhaps going to be one. Every single time I tried to predict something so far today, it has gone nothing like I predicted it to. Nevertheless, even more magical protections coming out on the side of Eternal Rally. Vimana just finished off a Stone of Gaia. Can we see the amount? He's got to be up around 243. That's almost the magical protection cap right now. We have Magi's Blessing on Gab, Stone of Gaia, Bulwark of Hope. We have the Hide of the Urchin on Zhang Kui, the Bulwark of Hope on him as well. Really, the only thing they could have right now... Actually, given there's really no magical lifesteal built up, if Geb builds up a Pestilence, that'll be like the icing on the cake right there. Freya's going to effectively lose her lifesteal off the back of that. And it will just be crazy all around. There's a Witchblade and Vimana. That's going to be pretty painful for Kronos and Freya. While they don't get the physical power reduction off the back of it, that attack speed slow is pretty annoying. Also, a little surprised there's no Enfeebling Curse, at the very least, coming out. With Freya, Nemesis, and Kronos all being pretty heavily reliant on the auto attacks, Enfeebling Curse would have been quite effective. Oh no, nah, okay. Touched on a little bit earlier, we saw Keck get a little caught out, was looking to set a trap. The trap was sprung, but unfortunately they baited it a little too heavy and they had a swarm show up rather than just one lone guy ripe for the picking. Right side, teamfight might break out. Defender of Olympus used by Pibier to get out of that one. As I butcher yet another name today. Keck, though, and the left side of that does pick up Arcanjo. That's a lot of damage out of this fight. Uri will be in the middle. Once again, a 5 along with Jean Kui with the Recall Demons out. Quacken in the back line as this fight is over with. Nana is quite low in the back. Keck running for his life. Only from a Gabe, though. Yeah, probably not going to be able to find that kill at the end of the day. Schulten is low. Dueling out with Artroll. Body box coming from Stalker. Artroll, though, able to work around him. Find that kill. As this fight all over, Keck in the back line now looking for a second kill onto Suzuki on the back of that kill onto Uri. Unofficial double for him. Artroll rotating over. A little low from dueling out with Artroll. Artroll's, yeah, dueling Artroll. Artroll was low. Dueling Stalker, Artroll was a little bit low. But right now, they're likely going to head back to base, heal up quickly. There's 45 plus seconds on most of those respawn times for Eternal Rally. I would be shocked if they did not go for the Fire Giant right now. We Love Bacon on the back of that has put the gold lead back in their favor. Experience is still well in their favor. But with only the supports, not quite yet level 20. Not really mattering a whole lot. Fire Giant is approaching half health. Jean Kui is on his way. If Athena's not there quickly, Jean Kui could potentially disrupt that. But it looks like he's just going to resign himself to just picking up a couple of these jungle buffs. As it looks like Fire Giant will fall. We Love Bacon going to pick that one up. So 1 for 1 so far on Fire Giant. Fire Giants, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Pibier possibly looking for the catch onto anybody, but there was in fact not a Jean Kui there. Probably just dropping a bit of a deeper ward. And they're going to look for this right lane tower now. Mid lane tower will fall to a little bit of a split push from Nan. They're going to look to push even more here. Possibly siege out one of these Phoenixes. Go shift, rotate around, pick up that last tower possibly. 42 minutes actually coming up on the game timer right now. At this point in time, another good decisive victory from a team fight will more than likely mean the game. All the towers are down currently for We Love Bacon. The last tower likely about to fall here for Eternal Rally. Nan has to be careful. Probably not the spot he or she wants to be in. But it looks like probably looking for this. Trying to turn on Suzuki. Will they find a pick? That will be the question. Cataclysm likely going to come out here in a moment. There it's going to be. We'll find 3. Will they find the damage? No! Suzuki will get picked up by Aimless. They could look to just end this out right now. Yuri's in the middle once again of 5, but his health already down to half. Colossal Fury does come out. Quacken finding a bunch, but not really enough to find a kill. Yuri looking for Overtroll. He's going to stomp the ground one more time in the midst of his little tantrum. Arcanjo in the back. He will not find a kill. You're not a Vamana. Sorry to break that to you, Arcanjo. You don't want to be in the middle of 5. Will have cost him his life. Currently 2 for nothing. Going to We Love Bacon. They're going to pick up that left lane tower more or less for free. Athena does have Defender of Olympus online. Will be channeling that one to rejoin the fight. Healing up in base. One of the nice little uses of that when you're Athena. You slip away for a second. You can rejoin the fight full on health. They're going to be looking to pick up this left lane Phoenix. And going forward, there are still 20 seconds for Geb to respawn. 40 seconds for Apollo as we shift to free cam, kill some walls, and look to free cam up what could be the end of this match. Mid lane Phoenix going to be brought down to below half already. Non-force off to the left side. Recall Demons is out. Stalker trying to do what he can. Aimless going to Path of Flames out to the back. One more Demons. There is a tick the dot from Exorcism or something or other. Expose Evil, rather. Will find it. Yuri trying to do what he can as well. Stalker was picked up. Body blocking. Trying to come in. Going to be enough, or not going to be enough rather, to stop him. He will get out alive. The Stone Shield potentially saving his life right there. Fire Giant, a little bit of time left on it. They weren't quite able to get that mid lane Phoenix, but they did lose Aimless. They're a little low on the way of health. There's lots of juicy jungle buffs up on the map. There's a Gold Fury up. They're going to go ahead and pick that one up. Look to possibly finish up the last couple builds. Pick up some delicious, delicious potions. We see that Potion of Magical Might currently sitting on Agni. As right now, they're going to get this Gold Fury rather uncontested. Gold in hand, 3,600 on Freya, 3,100 on Kronos. If Kronos is already full build, that will likely be an elixir here getting picked up. I imagine. A ward, no, another ward. No, what did he buy? Or did he pop one already? We'll go zoom in on him and see what happened. As we're going to have to switch back to assisted cam. I got over enthusiastic about that. That will be an elixir on Kronos right now. That's an additional, I believe it's 20% damage on that. He's more likely than not going to be picking up some sort of offensive buff here. Not the attack speed buff necessarily. Perhaps just the blue buff gives himself a little more cooldown reduction. He does have 25% from the Breastplate of Valor, but overall that extra 15% won't hurt. Extra mana as well. Kronos tends to get a little bit mana hungry in the middle of a fight. You run out, you kind of lose your ability to do much of anything. So did Freya. Freya did pick up double pots. She is going to hurt. Looking at the player damage right now, despite all of the magical protections coming out of Eternal Rally, We Love Bacon, those magic damage dealers still top of the charts. Non's Nemesis has caught up a little bit behind them, but it's those magical damage dealers not giving a damn about all those magical protections, doing damage regardless. Mid lane Stalker caught out here, potentially will pop beads, as well as the Sprint, trying to get away from this one alive. Defender of Olympus coming down as well. Will find the stilettos to the face. Stalker not going to be terribly happy about that one. Across the skies coming in from Apollo, just going to go for the minions in that left lane. Once again, don't want to get too terribly aggressive with that. 45 minutes, 45 seconds in this game right now. Javier looking for the taunt in the backline. Will find Yurei and Suzuki. Lots of damage coming down. Quacken does find a double knockup. Will it be enough? Yurei's going to sneak away back to base. Freya with the Valkyrie Discretion looking for the kill from the air. Not going to be able to find it in time. Mid lane Phoenix now being focused down by We Love Bacon. They're going to find that one. Rewind is popped by Kronos. And that's going to be down if the team fight does continue. It's going to be a 4v5 defense here, potentially by Eternal Rally. We Love Bacon rotating over to that right lane, looking to push those minions forward. What are we doing? Oh, Fire Giant dropped, and Fire Giant's about to respawn. That would explain it. Oh, Yurei overextending. We Love Bacon could potentially look to end this out right now. It is only 3 members standing for Eternal Rally, but it looks like they're going to go ahead and take this Fire Giant, just play it safe. As long as Gab doesn't get a lucky steal and manage to get out alive, they should be okay on the back of this one. Blink is available, but he's got to be careful. Oh, he's there a little bit early, but it looks like the majority of We Love Bacon was looking for a kill. Now they might find the group. There it is. Reach pass from Athena, going to be used to start up the Fire Giant attempt. Gets over in that right lane. He's got to be careful, got to be ready for this. We'll go the first person before this. Oracle is nearby. He's heading around that corner. They are where this Fire Giant, though, gonna get picked up by We Love Bacon. That is going to be a very much dead Gab as the camera throws us to some really kind of rather random position for no real reason. So Vimana still down 20 for another 25 seconds. Gab down for now a minute. This is going to be a 3 versus 5 defense with the majority of the front line for Eternal Rally still dead, waiting on those timers to wear down. Zhang Kui is reasonably tanky, has a lot of protections when the demon Recall Demons comes out, but Divine Judgment from Nemesis, when it's online, actually, it might not even be needed. Recall Demons will not get popped on that. Stalker going to drop down too quickly. Nemesis going forward, right Phoenix getting attacked, going to get burst down. Left lane Phoenix was also brought back down. Titan is vulnerable at this point in the game. They could just burst this down so quickly. We Love Bacon going for the Titan directly, 25-10. Will they find it? Yes, they will. 47 minutes. 43 seconds into this game, We Love Bacon gonna be going home first place, winning 3-1 over Eternal Rally. I believe the prize was 30,000 gems split amongst them, so congratulations to We Love Bacon. GG to both teams in a well-played match. Eternal Rally picking up second place, I believe 15,000 gems split among them. Not too shabby, all said and done. Both of these teams still going to be moving on to the Arena of the Gods land coming up at the beginning of December. Woo! This has been a long night, guys. At least that last game, a lot more fighting coming out. Good play by both teams. We Love Bacon actually looked like they might have been up against the ropes a little bit there towards the middle of that game, but they were able to kind of knuckle down a little bit, get themselves focused, get themselves back into this game. Whew. It's been a long night, guys. We're up over 5 hours, breaks, 4.5 hours of casting. Whew. Wow. Alright, so taking a look at these players, Aimless 10-5-12, Freya 11-5-15, great stuff coming out. Looking at those damage numbers, we might have approached 50,000, but we've hit at 40,000 numbers were broken by 4 members of We Love Bacon. A absolute ton of damage coming out for them, especially given all the magical protections built up. If we look down the defense list, almost, what is it, 191, 203, well, 48. Am I looking at the wrong team? No, I'm not looking at the wrong team. Okay. Apollo, yeah, that's pretty much expected. 228 on Vimana. Even Poseidon coming out in the end with 75. All those magical protection items coming out. Not enough to deal with the protection items, penetration items coming out of We Love Bacon. Apparently more than enough to deal with all that magical protection getting built up. So, all said and done. Both of these teams, like I said, will be moving on to the Arena of the Gods LAN in the beginning of December. So I hope you guys enjoyed. It's been a couple great games to cast, a little bit of slow. I'm going to go into here in a minute just a little bit of my impressions of the Brazilian scene as a whole so far. It's been a long night. I don't want to go on too long. I'm tired. It's been long. My throat is like, stop casting. I don't know. Just please. But nevertheless, double Heavenly Agility is coming out on the side of We Love Bacon. I didn't notice that during the game, but I actually like that. Given that they have Freya, Nemesis, and Kronos, all who want to be able to move around quite as much, I like that rather than going the greater sprint option. You give the effect to multiple people, and you kind of give it to Nemesis, who had to go with the Fist of the Gods Aegis combination, just to kind of stay alive and lock people down a little bit better. It's one of the issues with Nemesis a little bit. She has a lot of slows, she's good for stripping protections and all that stuff, but she lacks a little bit in actual, like, proper, complete lockdown. So the Fist of the Gods needed to kind of deal with that. So, yeah, overall, some great games coming out today. No, not that. I don't know what I'm doing. We'll leave OBS alone for the moment. So, once again, congratulations to both teams. We'll be seeing these guys playing again coming up. I believe it's December 6th, about 2-3 weeks from now. It's, should be interesting. Teams have a chance. I know a couple guys from We Love Bacon are here kind of watching their game get replayed, possibly looking to improve. I definitely like that. It's something you can always learn from yourself playing. Hopefully some of the comments I might have given might end up being effective, aside from just horribly butchering your name and probably you guys cringing every single time I said your names and butchered them. And as well as butchering the Portuguese language as a whole the couple times over the night I attempted it. I will, in theory, I'm also going... impressions of the Brazilian scene. Let's get this out of the way first. Overall, it seems like they tend to like playing a bit of a slower game. North America and Europe, it depends a little bit more on the teams. There's a lot more in the way of looking for early aggression. So I'm curious how this will all match up. From what we saw, both teams like to kind of sit back, play passive. When you introduce a team that likes to be aggressive into that, will they be... I don't know what I'm looking for. Not rehearsed. I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but will they have the mindset and the awareness to say, okay, if they're going to be aggressive, I need to be a little bit more pissed. I need to back up. I can't just, farm in lane. Things like that. It's going to be, I don't know, it could be a bit of a, not like culture shock, but a bit of a shock coming up against those North American and European teams. I touched on it a little bit earlier. I believe these teams are a little bit newer. So there is... the question also of the team cohesion. There's still a month and a half, 2 months before Worlds come up. There's a lot of time for the practice. I imagine these teams are going to be scrimming. I'm curious how many of them are they going to look for some scrim partners, perhaps out of North America or Europe, get an idea of the other regions. I believe the ping isn't terrible from South America to North America. It's not ideal necessarily, but if they could find some scrim partners with like some of the higher challenger team, the SPL teams that don't make it to Worlds, that could potentially be a good amount of practice. Overall, there's a little bit in the way of decision-making. I'm not a pro player, so don't take this terribly wrong. There's a couple points in time where there's like a little bit of miscommunication, possibly some people going off different directions. Little things like that, hopefully things that get identified, worked on, and improved. Like I said, 2 months to improve, guys. If I see you making silly things like Apollo going for Fire Giant while everyone else pushes mid lane, I will come yell at you after Worlds goes down. Nevertheless, guys, I do hope to have some stuff out of China. I'm debating if I want to do some dubs over the VODs. I don't know if I can honestly get into the Chinese client. The South American client, I think I can get access to, but everything kind of happened on the 15th and 16th this past week. There was the EU regionals, there was a South American something or other. The esports sites for South America are absolutely terrible. They're not much better for North America or Europe, don't get me wrong. You're pretty bad overall. It took me like 10 minutes to find the start time for the EU regionals the other day because it was like buried in like a second page news post for the actual start time. It's like, yeah, okay, it should be like on the front page and match start time, something nice and easily and readable. I don't have match ideas for the South American stuff. There is more stuff coming up out of South America as well as Brazil. I hope to, if nothing else, I will attempt to get the Brazilian stuff out. No promises for anything else. I might look into dubbing some stuff over, but you lose the game audio, and I'm not entirely sure about doing it that route. I will get in touch with you about that, Liberty, George. I'm not sure what's going on with that. I don't even know if I can create an account in all honesty, because I know some Asian countries you essentially need what is a the equivalent of a social security number for any Americans who might be watching this, just to create an account. So it's a little awkward, weird, complicated, perhaps. I don't know if I can actually end up doing it. So either way, it's getting late before I start sitting here rambling on and on. My throat is gone for the night already. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow sounding like this, probably. But nevertheless, guys, thank you very much for watching. These will all be up on the Smite VOD YouTube channel in the next day or so. So if you want to see these once again, or just may have missed one of the earlier games and want to check out some of the other teams, they will be up there. There are the 6 matches from today. I believe we did 5 matches on Saturday, as well as the 1 game from earlier on last week from, I believe, the quarterfinals. Again, I apologize. I bumped my microphone. I'm a hand talker, as you might have noticed. My hand's bumping up and down a little bit, and occasionally I hit the microphone when they're not locked on the mouse and keyboard. You can follow here on Twitch. I will likely be doing some more of these going forward. Hopefully with co-casters going forward, it's a little easier with them, rather than having to keep the airwaves occupied for like 4 or 5 hours straight. It's a little difficult. So anyway, youtube.com/SmiteVOD if you want to check out those VODs. I also do VODs of basically any other Smite tournament that runs on Smite Game is up there. If it's not up there right now, no, the European stuff is done. Stupid YouTube last night refused to actually process a video, and it errored and failed. It's like, so great, I can't put them up. They are all spoiler-free. Just don't cheat and go to game 4 or 5. There's no game 4 or 5 or a third game in the best of 3. There is a blank video there to kind of just give the illusion of, hey, there might be a game 3. You don't know who's going to win game 2 until game 2 is actually over. There's also the Smite Event VODs subreddit, which I do. That link, I'll plug it in chat right here quick, if I can type it correctly. There are match lists for every tournament. This one is not quite up yet. It will be again in the next day or so. You can find them again once spoiler-free. All right, event VODs. I believe that is in fact the correct link for it. As I load the page, yes, it is. VOD list for basically every single Smite event except for the past week or so when Twitch broke stuff and it didn't work. All that said, guys, you can also follow Smite VOD on Twitter, get notifications for what I'm doing on this channel specifically on twitter.com/SmiteVOD. For me personally, twitter.com/TheZioden. I'll plug that in chat because I think I deserve to plug myself for once. You can also find my YouTube channel. It's kind of deserted at this point, youtube.com/Zioden. I have not had time, fortunately, to upload videos lately. I hope to be getting back to that soon, but nevertheless, you can usually find me streaming or casting during the week for EGL, twitch.tv/EGLTV, Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There's various events running on for that. All said and done, guys, thank you very much for watching tonight. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I hope you enjoyed. I think any feedback you want to give me, I very much appreciate. I want to improve. I want to get better. Ideally, a co-caster, my lovely Spot, will throw the tower bridge back up. Hey, it's a bridge that doesn't talk a whole lot. Go me. Nevertheless, there would in theory be somebody over there. If there's not, next time I will just do the Chunga joke. The Jade Rabbit's off on vacation, can't talk, stuff like that. Nevertheless, guys, thank you very much for watching. I'm Zioden for Smite VOD. Have a great night.